is Bass Odyssey's First Lady, Yaniq Walford. Yaniq.
Walford.
Welcome. Good to have you.
Finally.
Finally. Finally indeed. You would have grown up in a sound system world.
Yes.
Yes? Could you share for us your own perspective on that experience for you as a woman?
Well, I can say my father at first, I would say that he was over the moon, that his daughter is into sound system culture at that level. But for me, I really just love music. Mm-hmm. And from there, I learned that the sound system was actually invented in Jamaica and gave us this music that I love so much, which is Jamaican music. My grandfather did jukeboxes, where you punch in and get sung, Okay. Then my father built cassettes, Mm-hmm. And growing up, you have record and record box all over the place. So it is natural for me to love and celebrate and want to share sound system culture.
Yes. And you're now the boss. Hence, I'm calling you First Lady. Yes.
Well, I do work with my brother and my father.
Yes.
It's still pretty much a family-run business, but I would say yes, I'm at the helm of definitely SoundFEST. Mm-hmm. It being a brainchild, something I've played around with to create since my teenage years. Mm-hmm. So bringing this thing here to Kingston, the city of birth of sound system, I'm elated. Like when you say some things people dream about, this is something I would have dreamt of growing up.
Oh. Yes. Not a little scared?
I think I'm most excited. Yes. Actually, I know I'm most excited when I have a little jitters. Mm. And what calms me is focus.
It's a man's world.
Is it?
And you're the boss. Speak to that a little bit for us.
People call me an alpha, so I think that helps to be in a very male-driven and not feel... Because Bass Odyssey, of course, is a clash sound, and it's not just sound system like juggling. So being a woman at the head of that space, definitely having a personality that is forward and bold has helped me. Mm-hmm. And really and truly nothing to fear me, know. So it is coining that passion and that alpha and that no fear and wanting to do something great that I would say propels me to, no fears none at all.
All right, so speak about the festival now. Mm-hmm. So many years now?
This will be 6 years. Where it started, of course, I would have to talk about Squingy, rest in peace, who used to do a big dance in St. Deca. And when he passed, I was just out of my teenage years, really, and wanted to continue this thing that Alexandria and the surrounding areas looked towards, as it was a big dance. When I did the first staging, which was 2011, I was keeping a dance to carry on something that was before me. And within that, I saw potential. The first year I went on tour with Bass Odyssey, I went to Europe and experienced the festivals there. And then coming back and coining that experience with wanting to put sound system at the middle and the center of Jamaican entertainment, come back and I said, Daddy, I beg you a thing for do a thing, And he's like, all right, let's see what you're thinking. As I have to definitely bring, like my father, despite his hesitancy at first having his daughter in dancehall center, was like, all right, sound good, let's see. And a lot of it is because he's really been behind me, regardless of whatever, and been there to support these ideas that I had. Came down now to the coast and string up, and I was like, one thing that has to be standard is that the sound systems have to string up, like the physical boxes that we see on Jimmy Kimmel or Grammys or whoever it is, Rihanna dancing, when they're representing dancehall, there's always sound boxes in that clip. If we think about it, even the Adidas commercial, it's there. String up on what I think was Salem Lighthouse at the time, and I remember people said to me, say, you sure you want to carry it down there? I said, I'm not sure, but I got to do it, And I remember by 10 o'clock, nobody could hold in that lawn. Like literally the highway is where people just park, and because, it sounds loud, that is what it became. And I was like, this is a festival. Mm-hmm. And then the following year, big up Marianne Hall, I was like, we have to add some femininity to it. Because that...
You mean Lady Saw?
Yes, she was Lady Saw at the time. It wasn't Marianne. It was Lady Saw, the queen of dancehall at the time. And I remember, as it went on and curated over the years, where I'm like, okay, what else needs to come in and highlight it from the space? And sound system authentically now is very male supported. Mm-hmm. So you would have a lot, like even come a dance, you go sound dance and string up, you usually find a ratio of 2 to 1. So ladies, there will be some man there on Saturday. But over the years, that's what it's been. And I was like, all right, you need to balance out because, you know, man and woman have to balance for the thing nice. And that is where I was like, all right, Lady Saw would headline this sound system male thing. And we went across the street, was a bigger venue. Same thing happened again the next year. So I go over Grizzlies, which wasn't Grizzlies at the time. I link up with Mr. Brian, and same so I tell him my idea. At that time, it's just grass and farty leg and ting. I don't know if you know what it was before what it is.
Of course, yes.
And I remember even my sound crew came down and them filling in a hole with stone and thing to make sure so by the time people come, it looked nice. We made it very pretty. And I say pretty in the sense that it is not the norm for a dance, but still it's standard, the boxes must be in there. So now we put in premium production in a dancehall setting or a dancehall setting in a premium, whatever it is, and I decide, say, oh, you know what, when I see a Europe, we in Jamaica deserve it, because we create it.
Because you had seen that.
I've seen it, and I've seen the possibility, and I've also know that, yes, we share it, but it belongs to us. And in order to claim it, we have to own it. Pandemic came, and pandemic done. Came back to the table August 2022, and it went to 2 nights for the St. Anne staging, where there's a sound clash, where sound systems actually string up. And then SoundFEST is more of a fun vibe on this Saturday night. From day one, I knew I wanted to bring it to Kingston. I always knew that. There's a venue on Spanish Town Road somewhere that I have a picture of since I was like 15, and I said, I have to go put something in there. So that's where that idea started and came to town. I have a brother-in-law that does events here. He does yesterdays and some other things. And of course, I'm going to tell him this idea I have, because it's always about sharing this idea. And I think he's mad enough like me and say, yo, Yaniq, how we do it? And decided Sabina Park was stringing up these sounds. We're bringing in the international acts to show Jamaicans how it is that it has been replicated and done abroad, but here is where they're coming to celebrate it. And that's what is happening on Saturday. I will also say that one of the things that is that led even this, that make me go harder in the islands, because I know a lot of times we talk about Europe, and we might talk about the Californias, and we talk about these big festivals, and we don't talk about the Africas, or we talk about, and not even so far, I'm going to come closer to home now, the Antiguas, the Trinidad and Tobago, the Guyana. And we go into what is a smaller population with sound system as headliners and ram their stadiums, like Cork, and have their corporate sponsors or their legs of corporate sponsors that are in Jamaica. But their representatives in these islands come on in a way that allows them to go inside stadiums and cork it with just sound systems and headliners. And being at base of this is him, I saw that. So I'm like, why is it? And I don't want to say can't, because we never did it. So I'm like, well, let's do it and see.
Yes.
Let's give Jamaicans their opportunity to ram places like Sabina Park for their own thing. And that is why it's $2,000, because it's for the average Jamaican to come enjoy them thing where they have been supporting over, like sound system is alive because of the average working class Jamaican. So when we make it nice and we say it look good, then we can get front row center.
Do you see more women coming to
Definitely.
attending these days? Yeah?
Definitely there's been more women, which is it has been an indicator for me to say keep going. There's been growth, not just in parties. So for example, we did a sound clash as one of the lead-up events at UTech. And when I tell you front row center, a bare lovely female ladies in a makeup, bare nice on a pipe, I said, this is it.
Of course.
And we did a clash as well, a lead-up at UE, because on Saturday night, a UE DJ actually faces off with a UTech. So they won the separate battles on their campuses and them going up at 11 p.m. at SoundFEST. Because SoundFEST should also act as a bridge from, yes, the 60s when Jaro played for Emancipation, to 2023 when Jaro is going to open the lawn with rubber dub because you have to warm the lawn. But at 11, you have what we'll say is the next generation that has to be involved for it to continue, because we cannot preserve something if the youths are not involved. But we have to give it to them in a way that they enjoy it. Because otherwise we're going to shove down things that show that used to happen in the 80s when we didn't even know where I was at that time. So it's looking at what is now looking at what has gone, the nostalgia, the 90s band like dancing, 90s dancehall. And I said it this morning where, love till we say, at the best time, right? Nothing like the 90s dancehall when poor me even probably grade 1, somewhere there so. And I'm like, you cannot tell me it's the best if you don't show me that it is the best. And that is what SoundFEST is, giving you these instruments that were curated to play Jamaican music. And it's not nothing that built from when I can tell you, Bass at DC is up to date on every speaker, Twitter, app, whatever. And that is what you're getting now from sound systems is the latest technology. It is just been built in a way to play Jamaican music. And that is what is on Showcase Saturday. And it is very affordable. So I want everybody come. Yes, I want everybody to come, but I also, beyond that, I want Jamaicans to see their product as premium. And I'm saying when we come in more on it, it can only get bigger. So on Saturday, you come to witness one part of an example, a prototype of what we can do to make this thing what we know it can be.
Wow. Wow, so much.
So much, and I know my time probably up, but if you leave me alone, I talk till morning come.
Well, I'm going to bring you back, Yaniq, because there's so much more I'd like to ask you. But I'm going to leave that, because I will leave that for when you come back.
I'm not going to write.
We're going to find a reason to bring you back, and that reason will be, who is she otherwise? So then, Yaniq, what I'm going to do is leave the rest for when you come again. Yes?
Okay.
And what I'm going to promise our viewers right now is who's coming next.